Here's the truth. Most fashion brands don't fail because of design. They fail because of production. Finding the right factory is one of the hardest and most important steps in building a clothing brand. Get it wrong and you'll waste money, miss deadlines, and maybe even ruin your reputation before it's even started. But get it right and suddenly your brand feels possible. You've got quality, you've got reliability, and you've got room to grow. So today, we're going to go deep into how to find the right factory for your clothing brand, even if you're just getting started. A quick introduction, I'm Asa Anderson, founder of Anderson Dewell Communications, and I've been helping fashion brands for over 5 years go from a sketch and an idea to getting stocked in retail stores. And with more than a decade in the industry, I've seen it all. Factories that ghost you, factories that overpromise, and factories that become a real long-term partner. So what I'm showing here isn't a theory, it's actually what works in the real world. Why factories are make or break. A lot of new designers think factories are as a distant transaction thing, like I send you the money and you send me the clothing. But your factory isn't a supplier, they're a partner. A good factory feels like an extension of your team. They'll guide you, they'll flag any issues before they happen, and they'll help you scale when you're ready. A bad factory misses deadlines, poor stitching, wrong fabric, and the worst of all, silence when something goes wrong. So before you even started Googling, get your mindset straight. You're not looking for a cheap option, you're looking for the right partner. Different types of factories and what they mean for you. Now this part can be confusing. There's different types of production partners, and knowing the difference will save you a lot of pain. CMT, cut, make, and trim. Here you bring everything. Fabrics, trims, pattern, tech packs, and they just assemble. Pros, full control and often high quality. Cons, you need to know what you're doing, and sourcing the fabrics can be a headache. OEM, or originally equipment manufacturer. You provide the design and they handle sourcing and production. Pro, less work for you, they manage the details. Con, you still need to clear instruction and costs can creep up. ODM, originally designed manufacturer. They already have designs and you pick from the catalog. Maybe tweak a few things and add your logo. Pro, fast, cheap, and easy for beginners. Cons, less unique. Other brands may be selling the same item with different labels. So think about where you are as a brand. If you're a beginner and you just want to test an idea, ODM can work. If you want to build something unique, CMT or OEM may be better. Where do you actually find factories? This is the big question, right? Where do you even get started? The obvious answer is online. Platforms like Alibaba, Makers Row, Compass, and Common Objective have thousands of factories listed. The pros, huge selection and easy access. The cons, you need to filter through a lot of noise and potential scams. And there are trade shows, events like Premier Vision in Paris, Magic in Las Vegas, or Textile World in New York are gold mines. Meeting people face to face builds real trust. The cons, they can be expensive to attend, especially if you're starting out. And don't underestimate the word of mouth. Ask designers, especially the ones a little ahead of you in the fashion world. The fashion world is a lot smaller than you may think. And finally, look at creative hubs like Portugal, Italy, and Turkey. Amazing at small batch, high quality. Bangladesh, Vietnam, and China are strong for larger scales, cost-effective runs. Each region has its pros and cons. Europe has smaller runs and higher prices. Asia often means lower cost but higher MOQs. Okay, so you found a factory. How do you know if it's legit? Here's a few questions you may ask. What's the minimum order quantity or MOQ? Some will only work with 500 units per style, others will do 50. What's the lead time? Is it 4 weeks or 12? Do you offer samples? If they say no, run. What's the payment terms? Do you want to pay 50% upfront or everything upfront? Can I visit or at least see detailed photos or videos of the workspace? And here's the thing, this is not just about the answers, it's about how they answer it. If they're vague, dismissive, or overly pushy, this is a red flag. The red flags and how to avoid getting burned. Let's be real, scams exist. Factories that disappear after you've sent them money exist. Biggest red flags, price that's too good to be true. Poor communication, slow replies, vague answering, no references, no samples, no transparency, no willing to sign a clear agreement. Here's a pro tip. Never pay 100% upfront for a bulk order. The standard is usually 30 to 50% deposit and the rest on delivery. Building the relationship and not just a transaction. One thing I've learned, factories respect professionalism. If you come with a clear tech pack, measurements and details, they'll take you seriously. If you come vague, Like, I want a hoodie, but I don't know the fabric or fit, they're either going to ignore you or overcharge you. Start small, order a small run, pay on time, and be respectful. Over time builds trust, and that's when you become more flexible on price or MOQs or even the timeline. Think of it like dating. You don't propose on the first day, you build a relationship. The cost in reality. Now let's talk about money. Factories will usually quote you per unit, but remember, this isn't just the sewing. This is the fabric included, the times, the trims, the labor, and the overheads. On top of that, you'll need to budget for sampling fees. These are always the most expensive, and in bulk, shipping and customs, and quality control. So don't just look at the unit's price, look at the total landing costs. Sometimes a £10 t shirt in Portugal works out better than a £5 t shirt in China once you've added on shipping, duties, and delays. Ethics and sustainability. This part becomes a non negotiable. Customers want to know who's made their clothes and under what conditions, and retailers are starting to ask this too. Asking factories about certificates like Global Organic Textile Standard or GOTS, Ecotex, or Fair Trade. Ask about work pay. Ask if they recycle waste. The pros, you build strong brand reputation and can charge more. The cons, costs may be higher and options may be limited depending on your niche. But honestly, cutting corners here will catch up with you. Who's got it right? Everlane built their entire marketing strategy around radical transparency. They literally show customers the factory. Telfar scaled using ODM partners, but controlled the brands so tightly that no one cared if the garments were unique. Jacquemus worked with smaller French and Portugal workshops, focusing on identity over scale and grew into a global cult brand. Different strategies and different paths, but all came down to choice, the right factory for them. Your action plan. So if you're watching this and you're ready to take the leap, here's your homework. Define what you need, budget, production types, and how many pieces you're realistically wanting to produce. Research at least 5 to 10 factories and don't just settle with the first one. Reach out with professional questions and test their communications. Always order a sample first. Compare not just price, but quality, responsibility, and the truth. And start small, build a relationship, and then scale. Factories can be a scary part of starting a brand, but they don't have to be. If you know what you're looking for, you can treat them like a partnership instead of just a transaction. You can avoid the nightmare stories and set yourself up for long-term success. So what's the biggest fear when it comes to finding factories? Drop it in the comments and I'll do my best to guide you. And if this video helps, subscribe and share with someone starting their brand and check out my other videos.